Hey, hello everyone, and I hope you all are enjoying the Games on Quick Marathon. It's been a blast so far. But yeah, this is Moonlight Pulse. All right, we are ready to start kind of whenever. So I'll give a countdown, and on go, we are ready. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so this cute indie Metroidvania released earlier this year, actually. It was released in 2024 in April, I believe. And what makes this game stand out from others is that you can control 4 characters at once, but for now we only have a single character. His name is Silex. This game is pretty fast-paced. After the 20-second mark, you just get dash. The way you get abilities in this game is kind of like the characters just kind of recall how to use the abilities and stuff. For the most part, that is. We have our first skip here. We're gonna be getting this. There's different types of upgrades throughout the game that you can get. So that is an attack upgrade. It increases the damage output for some of the characters. That one is for Laguna, which is a character we'll be meeting shortly, but he has a very low damage output, so we definitely want that. We're gonna be doing a little bit of a skip here, trying to get this thing from the other side. Okay, that's not too bad. It is kind of a tricky thing to hit from the side. It's like really precise. Silex has cool movement. You can do a close to kind of cut momentum upwards and land on platforms a little bit faster than you otherwise would with just normal jumping. And we have our first boss fight here. This is Iflaron. And they're gone. So we're playing easy, which isn't necessarily a difficulty in the game. It's just that the game gives us multipliers. So we set up the multipliers on ×5 for attack and defense, and we're good to go. That's the easy. We have a skip here. Okay, there we go. Not too bad. It's kind of tricky at times, but essentially, now that we have Laguna, we can do... Okay, another skip there. But we can do kind of like a swap, and then you get a little bit of momentum upwards after swapping, which just gives us enough height to be able to make that jump and access this area here that otherwise we would need to access way later into the game. So a little bit of a sequence break here. We're gonna be switching to Laguna here because later on we actually need to do kind of a mandatory death abuse. So we want to get Laguna as low health as possible. So 14 is fine. Oops. The way you transport characters throughout the game is through those vessels. It makes sense plot-wise, I'll explain later, but you unlock areas by destroying some of those little eye creatures that are scattered around the vessels. Oops. This part's a little tricky, but that's fine. We got this. Cycles in this game are kind of weird. They are... I don't know, some of them are definitely proximity-based, some of them are... They feel like they're global, meaning that they kind of are just going all the time. The little wasp with the fire rings, for example, they're more proximity-based, but the other creatures, I forget their names, but they're like metallic creatures that kind of just jump back and forth. They seem a little bit more global. But yeah, now that we have 2 characters and we can swap at any time, you'll be seeing that happen. But for now, this is kind of a straight shot to our next skill that we need. So not a whole lot going on here, but now we get the bubble. It is a pretty fast-paced game, so we get skills here and there, like, pretty quickly.
Hey, pause. Do we have time for a couple donations?
Yeah, of course. This is a perfect time, actually.
We have so much love for you. That's one of the reasons why I want to make sure we got these in. We have $50 from Mark, who says, never thought I'd see a game I developed being run at GDQ. It's been incredible seeing WhitePaaws and other players putting so much time into Moonlight Pulse. Let's go, Silex and Laguna, Charlotte, and Clyde. Thank you so much, Mark. We appreciate that. Yeah. We have $50 from Aaron, who says, "Hi, GDQ. I'm one of the artists that worked on this game, and I'm so happy to see Moonlight Pulse being run at an event and being used to make a positive impact. When we work together, we can solve problems larger than ourselves and make the world a better place." Oh my goodness. Do we have time for a couple more? Or?
Yeah, that's fine.
We have $7 from Skylar, who says, "Boop." Thank you. We have Kismet, who donates and says, "I guess you could say this really was a Moonlight Pulse." And Coffee Man donates $40, saying, $40 to match the price of my backlog game, Ace Attorney Investigations Collection. So, Paws, I have to know, what's on your backlog nowadays?
Oh, man. There's a list. A very long list.
Yeah, such as what? Like, what's the first one if you're like, oh my gosh, I'm thinking of my backlog? Like, what comes to mind?
There's just a few Metroidvanias that I want to kind of just try out. Like Pseudo Regalia, for example, the previous run. Escape right there. Thankfully, I got it first try. That was the one that I was worried about. But yeah, Pseudo Regalia would be one of them. Neon White is definitely a game that is up there. But there's just so many games that exist for sure. Just don't have as much time nowadays to give it a go. But man, there are some really good games out there that I really want to try. By the way, that was the second boss fight. We got good RNG. There's RNG in the bosses here and there, but thankfully we did well there. This is the mandatory death of use, by the way.
You very much made killing Pepsi happy, probably by mentioning Pseudo Regalia.
Yeah, my partner did runs of that game for a little bit, and same thing with Neon White. So. But I still haven't played them. There's not a whole lot of stuff going on over here. This is just kind of a tutorial on how to equip items and whatnot. So we equip the little item that lets you take less health on the poison. We just try to get past this part as fast as possible. By the way, we essentially... So this game is pretty new, for the most part, of course. And of course, it's like definitely on the obscure side. I discovered it thanks to Skylar, who donated. But they mentioned it to me a while ago, and I was like, oh, it actually looks interesting. And I was in the Metroidvania binge earlier this year, and I was like, I'll play it. And I liked it. I thought it was a lot of fun. And then when I played it, I thought, oh, it looks like a great speed game. But it's still pretty new. So there are still things that I feel like need to be found. For example, skipping the bubble power-up. The only reason we need the bubble power-up at all is for this little puzzle here. If we can find a way to skip it, then we'll save like a lot of time, actually, probably around 2 minutes at the minimum. So that's something to get creative about and try to find skips. Which I'm not amazing at, frankly. I'm a lot more of a runner rather than a glitch finder and stuff. But yeah, this game has really cool movement, so I thought it would be a cool speed game, and it is. I've been having a lot of fun running it. This is on a skippable arena. At least we think it's unskippable, but who knows, maybe with a glitch it could be skippable. But the enemies spawn at the same location every time, so you just kind of know what to do. There's an arena in particular that's a little tricky to do, but other than that, they should be pretty simple. Also, I mentioned that you travel using those vessels, like the bins thingies. Well, it's important that you do not miss a stop, because it's kind of a one-way. And because we have done some skips here and there, you can soft lock, so I'm gonna take this checkpoint right here. Just in case I do something dumb and miss like an area. And accidentally soft lock. But yeah, just keep that in mind. Oh. Okay, now we have Charlotte. Charlotte is very interesting. It allows, or she's able to grab on ledges. And now we're gonna be going straight to the other side of the map again to get the power-up that Charlotte will use, which is the grappling hook. And then after that, it'll be a lot more of a technical run. For now, we'll still use Laguna, because Laguna has the dash. And Laguna's fast.
Oh, I like this movement.
Yeah, it's pretty smooth.
Do we have time for one donation?
Yes, this is perfect too.
We have more love for you. We have $25 from, you all may know, Killing Pepsi. It says, super proud to show off Pseudo Regalia alongside Jaxler and to be part of a stacked Metroidvania block. After speedrunning for so many years, I'm so happy and grateful that I can use my hobby to help support charities that do important work. Good luck, WhitePaaws. I am hyped for a goated Moonlight Pulse run. This is very goated, Samar. Like I said, the movement here is really impressive, Paws. So is there anything coming up in the run that we should all keep an eye out for, especially if we're not as familiar with this game?
I really like the next section, actually. Getting out of here is actually pretty satisfying because you start doing the switches with between Laguna and Charlotte pretty often, so it starts becoming a little bit more technical now. So the movement becomes a lot more fun. But the next section in particular I really like once we access this like ice mountain. Oops. And there's gonna be a lot of switching around and whatnot. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Well, not the cleanest getting out of their area, but it's fine. I'm gonna grab the checkpoint just in case. In the leaderboards, we take IGT. So technically, taking saves doesn't really lose time, but it loses time RTA, so I tend to avoid them on my attempts anyway. It's like if you die, the run's dead anyway, so like... it doesn't really make too much of a difference, but in a marathon, yeah, you wanna be safe. Alright, now we are gonna make our way to the mountain, as I mentioned, and that's where we're gonna fight in the third boss. But to talk a little bit about the plot, so the reason why there's vessels and kinda like veins and stuff is that we are actually in a giant planet. No, or giant planet, yeah, that's pretty obvious. Giant living being as a planet. It's a giant turtle. And we are part of like the curative agency, so we take care of the pesky parasites. And the planet is being threatened by an interdimensional force, so we gotta delete those, basically. To put it simply, that is.
Oh, the love just keeps pouring in here, by the way, for you, Paws. Are you doing a difficult trick right now? I just want to make sure before
I think we're good. We're just gonna get another ability here.
Okay. All right, great. We have $12 from Intrepid Illusionaire, who says, I'm amazed that GDQ got an event so quickly after the devastation of these two hurricanes. Let's show those affected how we can work together to help out, just like these brave curative agents. Thanks to everyone at GDQ. Thanks to WhitePaaws for running my favorite Metroidvania of 2024. And thanks to Mark Radosy and the rest of Seafloor Games team for giving us Moonlight Pulse and its fascinating setting.
Yeah, shoutouts to all the devs of this game, by the way. They're like very active in their Discord and very supportive as well. I didn't want to take damage there, but that's fine. And don't worry, nothing happened. I haven't taken damage.
Oh, I haven't seen anything. Nope.
Yeah, no.
Nope.
Quick skip here. Actually got it. That was a really sketchy setup. Important to not miss that stop, otherwise I'll go back down the mountain.
Oh, yeah.
So we don't want that. Alright. Now we access the third boss fight here. FLE. We got this weird glitch with Charlotte, actually, where she just kind of electrocutes things automatically. But yeah, the boss becomes this giant thingy and has like 1 million HP. Oh. I may take more damage. Oh no, it's fine. You can one-cycle this. I'm gonna see if I can do it. It's not too hard, but... Of course I cursed myself by saying it's not too hard. It's fine. But yeah, ideally you'd one-cycle it, and you'd save like 20 seconds over doing it to cycle, but it's fine.
This is quite the
Just
boss
my
here.
marathon luck. Alright, we're only one hit off, so...
Yeah.
Now we have access to Glide with Charlotte, not with Laguna. So we're still gonna use mostly Laguna for movement through extensive parts, but the glide will come in handy. Also now, something that I didn't explain, but Charlotte's whip actually makes her fall faster, but so does Laguna's bubble. So we have access to 2 ways of like falling pretty quick, which is nice. So you'll see me probably using both ways. But yeah, pretty long area here, but we're actually gonna search for our next character, Clyde. Also, we lost Silex at some point. That's because he got kidnapped, by the way.
Aww.
By the interdimensional being. So we actually gotta go save him. Oops.
So I have a question. When you first played this, because again, speedrunners do play games casually to start. Just want to say, I know that's a myth, but it's a thing.
Yeah.
How lost did you get in this game? Everything seems to like blend together. Maybe it's the speed in which you're approaching the game, but my goodness, I get lost in this game.
Honestly, it's pretty good when it comes to the directions. Not necessarily that I got lost, but there's a few things to explore here and there, and the map opens pretty gradually. So I found that like combination of things to be pretty satisfying to do in terms of exploring. Didn't necessarily get too lost, which is nice. It's nothing like, I don't know. I was gonna put another example, like Rain World, for example, where you just get lost everywhere. If anyone knows Rain World, shoutouts to Rain World. But yeah, it's pretty straightforward, and I think the devs did a great job with that too.
The artwork in this game is absolutely beautiful too. Again, just shout outs to the devs
I love
for
the character
this.
design too, it's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're doing this entire lava section to unlock a path for us to go meet Clyde. So other than that, this part doesn't really have much of a use, but there we unlock the path, but the lava now like kinda has fallen down and we have to go back up. But there's gonna be another arena here. I missed the hit on the mosquito, that's fine. Okay, this is good. Okay, not the cleanest. That arena is like by far the trickiest one of the game, just because you have the platforms that are kind of like falling. But it was fine, like definitely serviceable. Another thing with this game is that like you change characters with the left, like with the triggers, with R1 and L1. I'm playing with controller. So ideally, I'd use the claw grip for the game, which is something that I've never done for gaming before. So that like definitely put me out of my comfort zone a little bit. But it's a lot of fun now once you actually get the characters. And now that we have 3 characters, it is more important to alternate between L1 and R1 depending on which character you actually need to use. So
You know what this reminds me of? You can change characters here, and I've been noticing this as you've been acquiring them. It kind of gives me a Metroidvania meets a Little Samson type feel, if you've ever played that game.
Which one again?
It's a Little Samson for the NES. There's like many different characters you can switch between, and they all have like their own health bars as well. I'm definitely getting that feel from it.
Interesting. No, I'll have to look into the game. I don't think I've played it.
Yeah, it's super cute, just like this again, but it's a little 8-bitty for sure.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Clyde can put those kind of like lines, and you can just jump on top of them. They serve like platforms, and that's really the main thing. We won't be using Clyde a whole lot. It's basically still gonna be Charlotte and Laguna for sure, but Clyde will still be useful for some sections that we need to climb areas that otherwise we wouldn't be able to, like here, for example. Just gonna wait for that thing to go by. Okay, didn't take damage there because I always take damage, so that's good. Taking damage from those spikes is so annoying because the character just kind of like falls and makes this like long animation. But oh well, it's fine.
It doesn't look like you have a ton of room for error in this section.
Yeah, it's very cycle heavy, and the cycles are, for this section are at least proximity based, so you're kind of on a timer there, which, I mean, makes the section a lot of fun. I'm definitely a sucker for cycle-based sections, for sure. So it's very satisfying once you do it like really well. Another skippable arena here. Not too much going on this one. By the way, you can hit things diagonally with Charlotte's whip if you press circle, which is the way you use the grappling hook. Bad RNG here. That's fine.
We have a little more love for you, by the way, real quick. We have $50 from Coatal that says, "Go WhitePaaws, you're doing awesome." And I agree, chat. Can we get some love for Paws in chat here? This has been such a fun run.
Oh, thanks for all the love. That's very sweet, Joel. Alright, now we have acquired all the characters. Oh my gosh, I've been taking so much damage from like... This is fine. From like the really bad things to take damage from because of the animation. Alright, so we're getting this oily ink. It's gonna be useful for the oily ink, even, not link. It's gonna be useful for the final boss. But here's where the game really truly shines in terms of technicality. Lots of stuff going on. Oh my gosh. I hate doing that mistake because if you fall in there, you enter like purgatory. But that's fine, we got out. I'm terrified of missing that green thingy. So the idea of this section is that we have to collect 15 green thingies to get out. Oh man. That's an annoying mistake to do because we need Silex to get out of here, and this thing, as you can see, has like this kind of cord that ties you into a character, so you cannot switch. Unfortunately, with Lagoon you cannot get out of that hole. So we need to kill the enemy. Ideally, you wouldn't get hit by that, but that's fine. Ah! Okay, this is fine. We gotta back up with Silex. Something that we don't get to show super often, but you can, if you wall jump and press up swipe with Silex, you can actually be so close to the wall that you can re-wall jump pretty quick and just kind of get like infinite height off of those. It's not something that we see in the run, really, but it's like a neat tech that exists. Maybe it'll be useful someday. We'll see.
I like hearing your reactions from you as you're playing this.
Alright, now Silex gets a super broken power-up, which he can turn through time now.
Wait, what?
So, we'll use Silex for most of the run in terms of movements now, especially because he has a really good dash too. And wall jump. So he has like a lot of mobility, and that's very useful. Nice. Okay, the skip worked. There's a skip. I don't know, I have no idea how this works, but there's a little glitch. You're supposed to get 15 green thingies, as I mentioned. Well, we only got 14. For some reason, if you do that section just like we did, kind of like following that order, I don't know which causes it, but you get the 15th one automatically. It sometimes doesn't work, but for the most part it does. It worked this time, so we're good. And now that we have all the characters, we're gonna go, just like in any Metroidvania, like classic Metroidvania fashion, to the center, where we'll fight the final boss. Oops. In this case, it's gonna be the heart of the turtle.
Is there an escape sequence at the end?
Not quite, unfortunately.
Not quite.
It'll be pretty funny if there was.
Oh, yeah.
Alright. So generally the heart is just kind of blocked by a different character, the one that gave us the bubble power-up. I'm just gonna grab the checkpoint just in case. But now he's trying to defeat the otherworldly being now, so it's unblocked and we can access. And we have this little last platforming sequence here that, yeah, we'll use mostly Silex for. There's gonna be like a few arenas and whatnot, but it's mostly gonna be movement.
Chat cannot believe how fast you're moving. Pause. Like they're looking and they're like, oh my gosh, these jumps are difficult. How long did this take for you to learn, out of curiosity?
It's not too hard. Like, it's actually pretty, I don't know, like, I was gonna say beginner friendly. It feels like it is. It's not too hard to learn, but I also come from running Ori and the Blind Forest, which is really hard. So it's like comparing that one with Ori is a little different. I mean, this game could get like really technical once it's like fully optimized, but for now I feel it's pretty beginner friendly and it's pretty accessible to learn if you ever wanted to get into speedrunning and you don't know what to run. I mean, I'd suggest this game. Definitely need more runners, that's for sure.
Yeah, especially because it just came out this year too, so the community definitely needs some growth.
For sure. Last enemy of the arena. We actually use Clyde for this because Clyde burns and it just does so much damage to those little guys. But we're gonna be entering the final boss here shortly. And the time comes actually pretty soon. This final boss takes like 10 seconds. So we'll see how we do with RNG. Good so far, good RNG. We're very on time. And time.
I blinked and I missed it. Oh my goodness, that was so fast.
Yeah, the final boss just goes super quick. Since Laguna has the oiling, you can actually do super good damage on the eyes of the final boss, and then Clyde just carries with the fire. So that is it. That is WhitePaaws. Very cute indie Metroidvania. I definitely suggest, if it catches your eye, to give it a go. I think it's pretty fun. It's not super long either, so you can probably knock it out in a few sessions. Also, another thing is that this game has auto-skip cuts. Like, there's an option to auto-skip the cutscene, so that's why you didn't see anything, and that's why the game just kind of abruptly ends, because for the speedruns, you obviously want to skip them. So that was super nice from the devs to put that in for, it's really convenient for speedruns. But this is the turtle. Turtle's name is Orask, or I don't know how you pronounce it, but yeah, there we go. Very nice run. I just want to give a few shoutouts. Again, shoutouts to the WhitePaaws community. Even though we're small, there's a lot of support there, and shoutouts to the devs as well for making the game and for being here watching the run. Shoutouts to my coworkers that were watching the run. Hi. Then shoutouts also to my friends at Posse and at my server. So, Skylar donated earlier, for example. Shoutouts to my partner who's sitting right here as well. But yeah, other than that, that is all for me. Hope you all enjoyed the run and enjoy the rest of the marathon as well.